Recently, I uploaded a analysis with my friends Dane and IQ of the Switch Directs that occurred on April 2nd. Uh, over there. We just did a general analysis on everything coming, the new generation. However, we did not do any critiquing of practices and especially pricing. That's what today's video is all about. That's what this video is all about. I am once again here joined by IQ to critique the I guess just the pricing of everything. We're gonna do our best to make sure we don't yap for however many minutes we do this. Uh, we're gonna be impartial with our takes on this, as impartial as we can be, anyway. But anyway, um, so obviously, I feel like a lot of people were kind of shocked by the pricing, especially. Well, I mean, we had an amazing direct, and then the pricing kind of came out, and we just got the craziest whiplash from seeing those
Es-
prices.
Especially when Nintendo is considered like the cheapest of the big three.
Yeah, like that's the big problem here. Is like that's always been their marketing. Is like is do they make the best hardware? Not by a long shot. Why do they do it? So they can be cheaper and more accessible. And it's worked for, and they've been doing this ever since the Wii, and it's worked out very well for them, with the exception of the Wii U. And I feel like Nintendo is really falling away with who they are, with this step they take. With pricing like this, is honestly they're becoming akin to like EA, which is a really terrifying thought.
I feel like Nintendo's in it over their heads because they think just because the Switch 1 was a success means they can
Yeah,
up the price,
yeah,
make everything more expensive,
for
and
sure, for sure.
you know,
You also gotta keep in mind, the Switch One had three important men that actually no two, technically two, but like Nintendo back in the Wii U days was guided by three men who really kept the company who they were. Only one of those men is still the company now, and he isn't able to do that much. And in case you guys don't know, I am talking about Shigeru Miyamoto, Satoru Iwata, and Reggie Fils-Aimé. Miyamoto is still at Nintendo, although he's in his 70s. He is getting close to retirements. And then Reggie Fils-Aimé, he was president of Nintendo up until 2019 when he retired, and then Satoru Iwata, who sadly passed away in 2015. So let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this video. And uh, I have a list pulled up of all the Switch 2 accessories, and of course the hardware itself. Starting with the console itself. So the console retails for $450 US. If you buy the Mario Kart World bundle, it's 500. And Mario Kart World bundle gives you a digital download code, which if off topic, but if it was physical, I would buy it. But which actually that's a whole other issue when you talk about later on. But um uh so wait, what? So IQ, what is your take on the pricing of the system?
well, I feel like 400 would have been much more fair
Yeah,
than
I
450.
yeah, I
Because I feel like 450 is like the price for a
yeah,
bundle.
400 from what I heard was the expected price. 450, I will say that's not completely unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, that is by no means the price I was hoping for, but is certainly a price that I can stomach. Uh, and then we get to the games. Yeah. Uh,
The games,
there's no
they're
defense for this
really
one.
promising.
There is no excuse. There is no excuse. Nintendo just want they just want money. They just like like I said earlier, like they are akin to EA, and this is going and Mario Kart World being
And for Mario Kart
yeah, Mario Kart World being
is
$80.
crazy price.
Okay, so actually I should preface this. 90 for physical. We actually are not able to confirm that yet because I have seen I have seen multiple conflicting listings. Actually, I think if you go to Best Buy, actually I'm gonna have to hide my screen for this because it's gonna show my name. If you go to Best Buy, I think Mario Kart World is listed up there for 80 and not 90. Mario Kart World is being sold at Best Buy for 80 and not 90. And as far as I can tell, this listing is for a physical copy because it does not say that it's for a digital copy. But for and then of course you have Donkey Kong Bonanza is gonna cost 70. Uh, so I mean, I already know what you're gonna say, but what's your take on this? And please try not to yap.
I feel like yes, the first 3D Donkey Kong game since
64.
forever, basically.
64.
But like, yeah, since 64. But paying 70 or is it 70 or 80?
It's 70.
70, pushing the border.
Yeah.
Like yes, Tears of the Kingdom did that, but that's
At
Zelda.
least there they had like an actual valid argument to do that. Which I was one of those people who thought that 70 for Tears was fair given what that game was supposed to be and the expectations that Tears of the Kingdom had for it exceeded them, I would say.
But it looks like 70 is
At
just gonna
worst,
be the
at
standard
worst,
price for
yeah,
every game now.
Tears had a mountain of expectations to meet, and at worst, I'd say it met them. At best, it far exceeded them. But yeah, $80 for Mario Kart World. This is not just bad for Nintendo, but this is bad for the industry as a whole.
No, because like imagine being a kid and asking your mom for $80 for playing Mario Kart.
That's the big problem. For one, not only people are going to buy, you're going to get a lot less purchases from families because they can't afford it because you're just jacking up your prices. Now, I did see a guy who tried to play the devil's advocates, like by saying like, oh well, $80 is just $60 is $80 equal to $60 like 10 years ago or something like that, and like just nah. Like I appreciate the effort at trying to make it look good, but just don't. You can't there's no way to spin this in a positive way. You can try, but you cannot do it. Which and the reason, and I mentioned seconds ago that this is bad for the industry as a whole. The reason why it's bad for the industry as a whole is because if Nintendo is able to pull this and get away with it, guess what other developers are going to do?
Every game from now on is gonna be like
Yep, they're
70,
gonna follow
80.
suit. They're gonna jack up their prices. Like, you bet your ass EA is gonna do it. Who else? Ubisoft would do it. Like any of the big greed companies would definitely do it. Activision, Blizzard, they would pull that kind of shit. Which I just why?
It's just not good.
Like, so this is why we really
Playing
need
games
Mario
could be a
Kart World.
hobby.
This is why we desperately need Mario Kart World to flop, because if it does flop, then that means other developers are gonna be like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't jack our prices up like that. Maybe that's not a good idea. Let's keep them at 70. But yeah, that's all we're gonna do for games for now. I don't want to focus too much on games because we'd be yapping all day if that were the case. Let's move on to the hardware itself, starting with the Pro controller. And
I really like how compact the design for the Pro controller is.
I mean, the problem I have, it's not that different. I mean, yes, there are differences. So actually, I'm gonna put this up on.
It just looks less
So this
wide.
is a standard Switch Pro controller. Uh, the profile is about the same from the looks of it. The layout is almost exactly the same. The logo is different. The only key differences are that now you have grip buttons on the back. This was present in third party Switch Pro controllers, especially the PowerA controllers. PowerA controllers had them had a ton of them. Actually, I think I have a PowerA controller sitting around in here that I can oh, here we go. Yeah, this is a PowerA Zelda controller. You can actually see grip buttons on the back here that you can program those. So yeah, it's nice to see that they're adding that into the official first-party controller that they are selling. But it has an audio jack as well, which is, I think, very convenient. Because this is a feature on PlayStation 5 controllers. It's a feature on Xbox controllers as well. It's nice to see. There was only one controller that had an audio jack built into it for Switch, and that was a wired PowerA controller.
Which is again third party, but it's good to finally see it on an official Nintendo product.
Yeah. And then but that one also was missing features. It couldn't read Amiibo, and it didn't have gyro either. And then of course it has the C button, which we do need to touch on. That the game chat. So there is a dedicate we need to swallow the fact that there is a button on every controller dedicated for a feature that has paywalls.
Like imagine paying how much is it?
It's a Switch Online membership.
Imagine paying $20 a year just to speak with people.
Yeah.
No, just to use a button on a controller that you bought.
Which Switch Online, I'm actually gonna cut that a bit of slack because there are worse services out there. Like $20, sure. Like $20, or even for the expansion pass, $60 a year is actually really good compared to Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, which those are like $20 a month for the higher tiers. So Switch Online, which now I think about it, I'm worried they might raise the price of that soon.
Maybe for the
actually, I'm gonna call it right now. That price
expansion, sure, but
I'm gonna call it right now. Those prices are going to go up at some point in this generation. Yeah, and then the Pro Controller itself costs $80, and this is the same case as the base Switch, where it's on the border. Mm-hmm. I'd say, like, would you be inclined to agree?
Let me search up the price for the old Pro Controller.
I think it was $70. Actually, I'll let me punch it in Amazon. Right. Let me punch it in Amazon.
Yeah, it's around 70.
70, okay, yeah.
But like, I feel like that's fair because again, you do have like additional buttons. You have an audio port.
Yeah.
All that.
Wait, what? Wait, additional button? You don't have additional buttons on Switch Pro Controller.
On Switch 2 Pro Controller.
Switch 2. Okay, yeah.
Although, I feel like the $10 price increase.
Yeah, okay. I see that point. I see your point. Okay, that makes me a bit more okay with this. Not too much. Like $80 for this controller, I'd say is okay. It's not great. It's not good, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move on to the Joy-Cons themselves. This time it's $90 for a set of 2, which obviously a base set Joy-Cons were which Joy-Cons for the Switch 1 were $80, but that's like you're basically buying two mini controllers.
I think it's like also fair because the Switch 2 Joy-Cons do have additional features.
Yeah,
like
this one I can get around as well.
And magnets.
Yeah. The charging grip is $35. Let's just move on. I'm not even sure that one's worth our time. Straps, not worth our time.
I mean, maybe if you own the Switch 1 and would want to use it on the Switch 2. That's pretty fair.
No, it wouldn't work.
Wait, what? Oh wait, no, that's
they're magnetically. The Switch 2, the Joy-Cons are magnetically attached.
Yeah, no, I just read it. That's the Switch 2 ones.
Yeah, yeah. This is just, I mean, just whatever. The straps, $13. I'm not gonna worry too much about focus too much on that because the straps are included with the console.
Yeah.
The wheel, just don't bother.
Wait, I thought they were always included with the Joy-Cons.
The straps?
Whenever you buy them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, the straps are not. The straps are not actually. Wait, are they? Oh. Are they?
Yeah, no, because when I bought my blue and yellow ones, they did come with straps.
They do? Okay, so they do? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I guess if you lose it, you still have an option.
And then the wheel, just don't even bother. This is just trying to be the Wii wheel. Just it's not worth your money at all.
$20 for plastic. Yay.
Well, it's a set of two though, so basically $10 for each, which is. I mean, if that's your style, go ahead.
And $20 on plastic, might as well spend it on transport.
And then we move to the camera. It's okay. So this one would be not so reasonable if it weren't for one detail. We're gonna get to that in a minute. So the camera is $50. It's USB-C, so you just plug in the console and it just works. I don't know if it works with like a PC. If you use a PC, if it would work there. But it's $50. The reason why I say this is not the reason I would say this is not unreasonable is because this camera is actually not proprietary. I mentioned this in the analysis when we were talking about game chats. But you could to my knowledge, you can just take like a normal Logitech webcam that's USB-C and then just plug that in and it would work. So this is not unreasonable because it's an option where it's like, hey, if you need a camera, we have this, but you're welcome to use your own if you want. And then the dock. So I actually don't know. How much was the Switch 1 dock?
If I remember, it was also somewhere near 100.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was 100 on the
No, dock. It's like $60.
Yep. And then this is 110, which is this one might be unreasonable just because realistically, what does it do different from the original dock?
I think it's just a replacement. Like some people just somehow
it breaks.
Break their docks.
Yeah, it breaks. Which which I mean, I don't think you'd worry too much about this one. As long as you're being careful with your hardware, then you don't need to worry about yeah. And the carry case being $35, dog.
You'd get third parties for cheaper.
Yes, and also not to mention, this is official. This was limited edition, and this was $35. Like honestly, you want a carry case? Just buy third party. Third party is cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the all-in-one case, which is essentially has enough space for everything. $80. Like again, just buy third party. There is no you could get third party all-in-one cases for the Switch 1 for cheaper than this. In fact, you could probably buy 2 of them at this price point.
You can afford Mario Kart World at that price.
Exactly. Just if you have money and you have a case, just go buy Mario Kart World. Except don't, because we need it to fail. Oh wait, I'm rambling. I'm yapping. I need to dial it back a minute. And then we have the AC adapter. I mean, does this one even matter? Because you can just use any USB-C AC adapter and it'd work fine.
Not for when it's docked, no, because I remember plugging in
Oh
some AC
yeah,
adapter.
right. That Okay, well, that makes a bit more sense because you have to have
Yeah.
because in the system has to be certain that the power can be supplied properly.
Yeah.
But if you want the AC adapter just for the charging aspect, just for the aspect of charging in handheld mode, then just use third party or else.
Go for an Apple charger or something.
Yeah, is that yeah? Apple is USB C now,
Hmm.
but and then there is one other thing we actually kind of skipped that we should have talked about during the games segment, and that is the the Switch 2 enhancements, the upgrade packs, which let me pull this up on Google. Switch 2 enhanced games. So, we briefly covered this in our analysis video, but I'll go over it again. Which so basically for I think $10 you can enhance Mario Party Jamboree and get Jamboree TV, which is basically like a DLC with additional modes and also mini games that can take advantage of the hardware of the Switch 2. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I assume this gives you graphical enhancements as well. Yeah, it does. It says right here. And then Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, we all knew one of these was coming. I'm kind of surprised we got both, to be honest. But also, this one feels out of all the ones, these two feel the most unnecessary.
I mean, locking lore behind a paywall app.
I mean, someone's just gonna write it down and post it to the wiki anyway.
Just read a wiki page.
Exactly. Like someone can just write down what they. Someone can just buy this, write down what they say word for word, and then upload it to the wiki in quotes. Like this is what they eventually say.
But I guess it's fair if you really want to explore more into Zelda, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this is another one of those on the border cases. Like Jamboree, I'd say this one's fair. This one on the border.
But paying for
we're leaning more
graphical enhancements and all that when Sony does it for free.
What this should have been the visual enhancements are free. The visual enhancements and the optimizations, the load time enhancements, those should have been free, and then Zelda notes that should have been what you pay for. But then again, Nintendo is smart enough to know that nobody would have paid for that.
I feel like the most diehard Zelda fans would. But I feel like to make it fair, Zelda notes, you just buy it once and it works for both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. Actually no. I just recalled that if you have Switch Online expansion pack, you get these for free with it.
I see.
And then Kirby and the Forgotten Land, I'd say this one's fair as well. It's in the same boat as Mario Party Jamboree.
More content.
Legend Z to A and Metroid Prime 4. I mean, just release the game on both systems at the same price. You're charging okay, I'm probably gonna get a bit ranty on this, but why are you charging for an upgrade on a game that hasn't even released yet? Like, why? This is not the this bodes very ill for the future of what the generation is going to hold. And then there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about, and that was the way they are handling physical games. So have you heard anything? Are you aware of this at all, IQ?
Not at all, no.
So they're doing what's called game keys, which is basically the which is essentially just a product key that then tells the system, oh wait, okay, download the game from the servers. The game is not actually on the card itself.
Wait, so like imagine you're on some road trip or something. You bring your Switch with you. You find a game you want, you buy it. Of course, you're on the road. There would be no Wi-Fi. You're telling me you can't just play it
Yeah,
as soon as you get it?
yeah,
That sucks.
yeah. So okay, so I should clarify, which, to my knowledge, this isn't going to be a feature on Oh, so this was already a problem with Switch One, although it primarily only happened with third party games. I know NBA 2K18, because my brother played that a lot. That was one of the things where it's like the full game requires internet to download. Actually, I know uh one of my PS5 games has this. It's Star Wars Jedi Survivor. You can actually see right here. It says is it not gonna focus? Okay, it's not gonna focus. But it says right above the ESRB rating, it says internet required. And what this is, the disc only has only has the assets for the opening of the game installed, and the rest of it has to be downloaded.
Yeah.
Which is I think is Nintendo trying to imbibe the old that old Ubisoft adage of you'll own nothing and be happy, which that's worked out. Saying that kind of shit's worked out very well for them.
I remember the Mega Man collections doing something like that.
Yeah,
Where it's like it gave half of
the
it gave you like Legacy Collection one, and then you had to download two.
yeah the Metal Gear Solid collection was the same way. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure any of the game was included on that. But yeah, this is not going to be the case for all games. I would certainly hope not for first party games, because that's primarily when I'm going to be buying more on this.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then I think for third party, it's ultimately going to be up to the developer to do that. Like, and CD Projekt Red has already confirmed that for Cyberpunk, the entire game will be included on the card itself.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, which I think, which is a very good, which I think is a very good thing. Which also it's really impressive that they were able to fit a game as massive as Cyberpunk on a game card that's 64 gigabytes. Okay, actually, for reference, let me open Steam here real quick. For reference, Cyberpunk on PC requires just under 85 gigabytes of space to install.
Let's see.
So the fact that they were able to somehow like, the game looks like it runs very well on Switch. So the fact that they were able to cut back the game enough to so that it would fit on a 64 gigabyte card is kind of impressive. Then CDPR already had a miracle port with The Witcher 3 on the Switch, which it didn't look nearly as good as the other versions, but it ran very well.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of companies are definitely going to be doing this whole product key, this whole game key thing with the Switch 2 card, with Switch 2. Like, EA undeniably will be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of the big scummy guys are definitely gonna do this. Ubisoft would definitely do it. As for what Nintendo's gonna do, I'd say it's a coin flip. Like, do you agree, or would you say they're leaning more towards one side?
I feel like they'll mostly do the entire game on a cartridge.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo's entire thing would be like play anywhere you go and shit. Instead of play, if you want to play this, download this shit first.
I mean, well, keep in mind Nintendo is also kind of losing who they are with this. Like, they're falling to the dark side with what they're doing with the Switch 2. and it's terrifying, to be honest. Like, Nintendo was already running downhill with the Twilight days of the Switch, especially that $60 HD port of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
I completely forgot about that port.
Yeah, they were already on a downward spiral with that. But I think that I like honestly there is a very good chance that that what they have done here completes their turn to the dark side. So, to put it in summary, the state of Nintendo is not looking great right now. The future looks incredibly bleak, right, for the entire industry, given what Nintendo has, given the precedent that Nintendo is trying to set here. So, all we can do is just hope that Mario Kart World flops hard, and honestly, maybe Donkey Kong Bonanza as well. We need to hope that those games flop hard enough to maybe to so that Nintendo is maybe considers dialing it back, and not only would not, and even if they don't dial it back, then other devs would see how horribly raising prices went for Nintendo, and they would
Yeah, and it's sad that those games need to flop to like tell Nintendo that like those prices aren't acceptable
yeah,
because those
because
games are like things that like people really want.
yeah, because keep in mind, shareholders only speak one language, and that's money, and they don't start listening until they start losing money. That's how corporate works nowadays. They don't listen until it starts costing them.
Hmm.
So here I am. I've already completed post production on the video, and I was getting ready to upload it. And then we got some very, very bad news today that Switch 2 pre orders are delayed due to the tariffs that have been issued. Now, I should mention, this is only an issue in the States. If you live outside of there, pre orders are still going to go live on April 9th. But anyone in the States, pre-orders have been delayed. It has not yet been stated when they will go live, but it is delayed due to the tariffs. And this is very bad news, not for the implication that the cost of things could be rising even more, which, I mean, we were already on the border before. If prices go up, then this is officially the worst console generation, hands down. I, I mean, I wouldn't even say it's not a long shot to say price would increase because, I mean, clearly Nintendo wants money, and if tariffs gonna make them lose money, then they would 100% increase the prices. So, and this is just, I can't believe we're here now. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, subscribe for more content like this. And here's hoping things get any better. I'll see you around.